Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, this time talking about Survivors, Series 6. Now, for those of you who don't know, Survivors is based on Terry Nation's 1970s series, let's use the word cult series, shall we, about people who survive the end of the world. Basically, think zombie apocalypse, only without the zombies. It's a disease and it's wiped out far too many people, and basically it's the everyday story of survivor folk. Most of the original cast and a handful of others either created by Big Finish or recast versions of the original are all here, all present. And this is Series 6, I know. Now, in a departure from earlier work, you've got something new going on with Big Finish Series 6. I mean, let's face it, there was only ever 3 seasons on TV. Normally, up to this point, we've had each box set having a bit of a story arc. Basically, each box set consisted of 4 individual stories that all linked together quite closely in a bad wolf kind of a way. It all fitted together marvellously. Well, here we've got something more akin to the TV series. We've got individual stories. And I, for one, I'm kind of pleased about this. Because let's face it, when you were listening to the other stories, you were in for the long haul. It was 4 hours straight, each time 4 hours plus, of just sheer harrowing excitement. No one was safe. You didn't know who was going to make it out alive, and to be fair, not everyone did. But here we've got something different. We've got 4 individual stories, just like the TV. We've got the characters who've appeared earlier, reoccurring with us, and travelling with us, so that they can experience things. First off is Beating the Bounds by Ian Porter. Next, we've got The Trapping Pit by Christopher Hatherall, The Revenge of Heaven by Simon Clarke, that's episode 3, and episode 4 in this box set is The Lockup by Andrew Smith. Now what I'll do is, I'll read out each individual synopsis and then talk about each one at a time. It seems only fair to do that. But overall, this is a great boxed set. So if you're in it for any form of spoilers, don't bother, because it's just as good as any of the other box sets of Survivors. Definitely worth a listen, and definitely worth throwing your money in with. Number 1 is Beating the Ground, and this is by Ian Porter. Here's the synopsis. Abby Grant's search for her son has taken her all across Britain and back. Following every possible lead, she finds herself in long abandoned roads to forgotten villages. But now, 2 years after the first death, such communities still wish to protect themselves, and they do not take kindly to strangers. This is a glorious piece of writing. It's dark, but not too dark. It has the British class structure riddled through it. It feels so definitively 1970s as to be practically an archive piece. You've got people who want to survive, obviously, but people also who just want to have things going their own way. Yes, entropy will always get you in the end, and everyone needs a bogeyman of some sort, and it just works. I don't want to spoil it any more than this, but it is a great introduction and a great way for us to get back into Abby Grant's head. This is followed rather nicely by The Trapping Pit. It's a very small story, and it's something you can so picture on TV. Gloriously structured and really well done. It has a 70s feel to it. On a monumental level, these all feel like ITC dramas. Obviously not as much as episode 3, which I'll cover in a moment, but The Trapping Pit by Christopher Hatherall. On a routine trading mission from White Cross to Evelyn Piper's Foundation, Jenny Richards and community doctor Ruth Anderson are ambushed by desperate scavengers. When the tables turn, an escape attempt becomes a struggle for survival. Will a young man's life hang in the balance? Ruth's skills are put to the ultimate test. It's so nice, so intimate, so small, which is what Survivors really does well. both on TV and with Big Finish. These are the small struggles that add up to the massive survival of the human race. Not everyone has had it good. Most people have had it bad, and this is just another example. Taking us into story number 3. The Revenge of Heaven by Simon Clarke is very different. It has the feel and the drive and the ambition of the ITC dramas of the time, only you just know that it was filmed on a BBC budget in your head. In your head you can see the dodgy CSO, you can see the bits filmed on location on 16mm film, you can see the bits that are studio bound when people are chatting, because this feels so authentic. Greg Preston has forged links with survivors in Norway to start rebuilding society. He's ready to return home to his family until an unexpected visitor drags him into a race across the Scandinavian snows. Hope for the future lies in a kidnapped scientist, and some will go to any lengths to control that hope. It's a great story, and I'm sure for some people it's going to be the highlight of the box set. But of course for other people it's going to be story number 4 by Andrew Smith, Lock Up. As her journey continues, Abby encounters a secure and well-ordered community based inside a prison complex calling itself Peacetown. But the settlement is not as idyllic as the name suggests, and the lockup harbours secrets, among them a prisoner, somebody Abby knows of old, a man called Greg Preston. Yeah, it's nice to have Abby and Greg back into a narrative together. Familiar voices all together again. Now everyone knows how much I enjoy Andrew Smith's work. That kind of almost goes without saying. It's a great story, and yes, it does have some aspects of his earlier career in the police force. I mean, let's face it, it's set in a prison after all. But, as I've said enough with the synopsis, I don't want to go into any great depth. But let's face it, this is Survivors, where the rule of the law is, well, a bit sparse. So, all in all, a fantastic box set, without question. It's nice to have the individual stories back, something that feels a lot more like the TV series. And one thing that I was grateful for is that we didn't return back to some flashbacks at the time of the outbreak, because I can only put up with so much harrowingness. Yeah? Either way, a great addition to the range. So I'll play you the trailer and let you decide for yourself. So until next time, be seeing you.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Survivors, Series 6.
Norway is a mess. The death wiped out most of its population. Floods destroyed roads and entire towns. It will be a long road.
I've travelled far and wide since the death, and I've seen what's coming. I was once part of a group that tried and sentenced a man for murder. We sentenced him to death. We killed him. And we'd got it wrong.
Help me! Let me in! They'll leave me alive!
I've got the biggest news since the death. We found a Russian professor by the name of Valentina Roskova. She has a cure for it.
A cure?
200 people? All without symptoms? Oh, that's wonderful!
She's got me. If you try anything, I'll cut her throat.
So you're going to give up? Throw in the towel?
Tell me, what can we do? Because I'm damn sure there is something we can do.
Well, don't just stand there, brace yourself. And whatever you do... Abby?
Greg.
Friends together again.
Big Finish. We love stories.
On the 2nd of September 2017, Hooverville 9 will be with us. William Russell, the man who was Ian Chesterton and still is on Big Finish. Carol Ann Ford, Susan, the doctor's granddaughter. Nicola Bryant, Perry. Toby Haydock, DVD extras man and everyone's favourite racist barman. Jessica Martin, Fraser Hines, Jamie. Phil Ford, Michael Pickwood, Philip Hinchcliffe and Matthew Dale are just some of the names will be appearing at Hooverville, the biggest little Doctor Who convention ever. Visit hooverville.org to get tickets. See you then. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.